It's Beth with a little bit of Beth. And today I'm going to talk about coaching as a tool and the coaching relationship, what you can expect from it, how it works, why I love to do it. And at the end, I'm going to give you a little tool, a little snippet of something that you can do yourself to begin kind of preparing for if you want to make change in your own work or life. The type of coaching that I do, which is the only coaching I can really talk about, is what I do, is leadership coaching. And before you say, ooh, not a leader, not for me, my lens on that is that we are all leaders. We are leading all of the time with every decision we make, with every opportunity that comes by, with every interaction we have with someone. My leadership coaching is about self-leadership, and it's built on increasing self-awareness. Now, one of the core reasons for coaching is because there's an area or a place where you want to make a change. That's the reason people engage in coaching, show up in coaching. Coaching is about facilitating action to make change. Coaching also believes, and I as the coach believe, that you already have the answers you need and the resources you need to be able to make the changes, but we all need a boost, support, a flashlight shined in on places where you may have blind spots or maybe experiencing resistance to making change based on thinking errors that generate fears or barriers to success that may or may not be real. So, that's kind of the basis for coaching. What happens in a coaching session is that we talk about big goals, big picture goals, places where you want to make changes. And the word goal kind of puts people off a little bit. And I get that because sometimes we don't know what our goals are. So I like to think of it in terms of where are the areas where you would like to facilitate change? What would you like to be different? And then we begin talking about what the action steps are to get there. So that's what the coaching relationship is built on. The work that I do is really around helping my clients to increase their self-awareness, to increase their understanding of themselves, to really understand how their lens on the world impacts decisions they make, how they engage with other people, and what they choose to do and not do based on the stories that are rolling around in all of our heads. So I'm going to give you an example of a woman who I'm coaching currently who is really doing great in her career. As a matter of fact, she's probably at the peak of where she wants to be, and she's at the point in her life where her thoughts are more connected to sustainability, succession planning, leaving her the job she does in better shape than when she showed up, and really empowering her team to be able to do their work in the best possible way that they can, and not get in their way, but help them be more resourceful, more skillful, and use all of their own strengths. And so what the task that I have her doing, and I'm going to invite you to do it as well, is she wants to create a little more self-awareness, a little more understanding of how she's perceived in terms of approachability. She has a question, an internal burning question. That question is, do my employees, do the people who work for me, my peers, my colleagues, and others in the world, do they not approach me very often for support or questions because they already have what they need to do their work or to move forward? Or are they not approaching me because there's something about my approachability that holds them back a little bit or makes them resist. Now, as a coach, that's not a question I can answer for her. And it may be one of those places where her lens on it, her blind spot, sort of blocks her. And so I asked her if she's willing to do a little activity, and she was very courageous. And I love people who show up who are courageous and committed to taking a look at themselves and getting more data. Now, I don't jump into this on the first session with most people, but she showed up really ready. So this is what I'm encouraging her to do, and you can go ahead and do it too, as well. I encourage you to. I told her to pick 3 to 5 people. An odd number is important for this activity. I think an odd number is important for a lot of things, but 3 to 5 people. Now, I want the majority of the people to be people that she feels she trusts, that she's confident will take care of her in giving her feedback, but also be honest, but not hurtful. Honest, but not hurtful. And then I want her to pick the minority. So if it's 3, she'd pick 1. If it's 5, she'd pick 2, who are wild cards. She doesn't know exactly how careful they'll be with their feedback. She's not sure. There are people who she admires and respects, but maybe just doesn't know them that well. So she's going to do this, and the question she's going to ask them is going to be framed something like this: I'm engaging in a coaching project to learn more about myself, to become more self-aware, to understand how people perceive me. And so I would like to ask you a question. I'd like to give me your honest feedback. How do you experience me in terms of approachability, being easy to approach with questions, challenges, or to give feedback? Now, her job, and this is the part that can be a little tough, is to pay attention to what she's feeling as she's listening to people, and to resist any urge to be defensive, to justify her actions, to just hear what's said and let it wash over her. That's it. That's the whole deal. Taking note of the things she hears that serve her, and kind of just not attaching to the things that she's maybe in disagreement about, or that she feels herself prickle about, but still taking note of them. Not attaching to them, not taking any action on them, but taking note. And so in our next coaching session, we're going to review the data that she discovered. And we're going to talk through that. And I've done this with tons of clients, probably 75 at this point. And every time there's so much to learn in this exercise. So I'm going to encourage you to think about what kind of burning question do you have about yourself that you'd like more information about. And go ahead and do a little interviewing and see what comes up. Okay, until next time, this is Beth with a little bit of Beth.